Hey guys, Len with 715 Outdoors, Evan behind the camera here, and today we are going to do a product review. It's food plot season, and today we are spraying glyphosate to kill the weeds for preparing for planting of the food plots next week. So what we're doing here is we are going to review the Greenwood 12 volt 15 gallon spot sprayer. I got this at Harbor Freight for $109. And I got to tell you, they don't get cheaper than that. For the last 2 years, I've watched the prices of sprayers go up, and I've been kicking myself watching the price of sprayers double. I was going there to buy a cheap backpack sprayer, and when I found this, I thought it's worth a try for 15 gallons and to be able to strap this thing to the ATV. So this features a 12 volt diaphragm pump, 1 gallon per minute spray at 40 psi, an 18-inch trigger wand with adjustable pattern tip. It also has a 15-foot long hose, which is really beneficial, an 8-foot battery lead so you can hook it right up to your ATV or UTV, and also corrosion resistant polyethylene tank. So we're going to open this up and see if we see what we got here. So Harbor Freight is known for inexpensive and oftentimes very, very cheap tools. And the thing with the Harbor Freight is, if you're discerning, you can find some really good products. And I'm hoping that we found that here. Now, full disclosure, I bought a 2-year warranty full exchange on this for $25. So I actually did pay more like $135 for this. But I thought, you know, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. So let's take this out of the box and see what we got here. Okay, so my initial impression is that it does look pretty darn good. There's the battery lead, and that's nice. That's got the removable plug with a nice long cable on it to hook that up to the ATV battery. It's got a nice holder for the spray wand, and then of course this thing is designed to wrap around itself. So let's kind of uncoil the hose here. We'll wrap it up and see how it looks. Oh, one thing I want to note too is that you can see that there is it is molded to be strapped down, which we're of course going to need to do. We're going to need to strap this down. So let's get this thing strapped down, set up, filled with water, and we'll take a look at the spray pattern. All right, so here we have the pump, and that looks pretty sufficient. Let's take a look inside and see what things look like inside here. First of all, got a couple of hose clamps, and we have a screen, which is really important because for me, we are using harvested rainwater. So we really got to be careful of debris. And I'm going to show you how I'm going to do that. But there is the pump pickup right inside here, and that is going to pick up the water, which also has a screen on it. Super important. So right now, from a pure quality standpoint, so far so good, and that's channeled to lay in there at the lowest spot. So this is so far I'm feeling really good about this. One thing to note here too is that there is a drain on the back. So that's going to be important because you may not use... Okay, so here's our rain barrels, and we need to transfer 15 gallons out of these. Now, you can't really tell, but this is not the cleanest water you've ever seen. There's debris that gets into these barrels that we have to be mindful of not to ruin our impellers. So I'm going to show you how we're going to take care of that right now. Filtering rainwater, one of the best things you can do is go to the dollar store, get yourself a pair of pantyhose. because I'll show you what we're going to do here. Like I said, we do have a filter here, but what we don't have is a filter on our suction, and we don't want to ruin the impeller inside of what basically amounts to, you know, drill. This is like, I don't know how many gallons per minute this is. I could look at the box. 260 gallons per hour is what this comes to, right? And by the way, this is a Harbor Freight drill, and a very good one because I've used that to drill holes for ice fishing. So I'm going to take these pantyhose, and I want to find the toes. I want to find the toes of the hose, the pantyhose that is, and I'm going to cut them off. And then I'm going to go to the inlet side, and I'm just going to slide this right over. And this is going to be filtration. The water will still be able to easily penetrate, and I probably have a lot more hose than I need. So here we have our filtration. I'm going to take a zip tie. I'm going to zip this up. Not too tight because we don't want to cut off or restrict flow, right? So, going to get that as tight as I can. And I think with all this excess, I'm actually going to cut off all of this excess because I can see this flipping over and causing troubles for us. So, let's just rip these extra off here. Now, even though I do have filtration here, what you need to note is that's really just, I mean, that's a pretty good screen. It'll stop leaves and everything, but I don't want any particles going through there at all, guys. I'm a little bit of a nitpick, so I'm actually going to take this extra piece of hose here, and I'm going to put that right over my outlet end also. So now what I've done is I've created 4 levels of filtration, one on each end of the hose, one on the inlet, and one on the uptake on the pump there. So let's go ahead, get this filled up, and see how it all goes. So we have the 15 gallons of water in here. So the one thing, there is no on-off switch that I can find on here. So basically once you plug it in, it's going. So I'm gonna just test the wand before I put chemicals inside. And so it is going. We'll give it some time to build pressure. Well, what'd you think of that, Ev? All right, so we've just spent the last half hour troubleshooting why it wasn't working. We had everything hooked up and it wasn't pumping. So I tried priming the pump. I tried several different things. I actually disassembled the pump to try to get a look at the impeller. Turns out that the colors on the cables are mislabeled. So when I put the red clamp on the negative battery post and the red, or put red on negative, black on positive, all of a sudden now it's pumping. So it was hooked up, even though it was hooked up properly, because it was made incorrectly, it's actually pumping backwards. So we got it hooked up, we got a spray pattern going. Now we just have to run some water through the system, get the pump running right, we'll refill it and add our chemicals. One thing you want to do when you got a new sprayer is to just make sure that everything's operating right, because glyphosate right now, I paid $150 for 2.5 gallons. I don't want to waste any of it. So we got we got a spray pattern. So let's see what happens next. Okay, so Evan's gonna demonstrate the spray patterns and spray distance. So it's made out of brass and aluminum, so it is durable. Go ahead and pull it, Ev. So there's like a nice mist. There's a nice mist. All right, now, let's unscrew that a little bit. You can see that that sprays all of 10 yards. So, pretty good spray pattern once we got her figured out here. All right, so we got her all set and ready to go here. We are heading up to the field. I mixed a fairly strong blend of glyphosate here. And the question is how far is 15 gallons gonna take us? We've got about an acre between the 3 food plots that we wanna spray. And the real blessing here is that we have a almost entirely windless day. So that's excellent, couldn't be better. And now let's get up there and see what we can do. Yep, that's fine, fire it up. Okay, so we're gonna all right, so this food plot here behind me, we used what, about a third of the tank? And this is the smallest one by far. So let me just turn the camera around and show you where we're talking. So starting at this bush, all the way, that's the outside edge. You can kind of see where it comes to the trail here. And I was pretty generous with how much we were putting down. So far the sprayer is working great. I hope I got the mix right. Like I said, it's nice. We got no wind. It's nice and dry and nice and cool. All right, well, we are working on spraying the largest and the last food plot of the group. And we just had to refill the tank. We only put in about 8 gallons this time, about half full to finish this larger food plot. So far, it's working really, really well. I'm really impressed with it. The spray pattern is good. We're getting very good coverage and no problems whatsoever. It's just getting that initial setup figured out, which, you know, it's a big deal, but it's not. It's one of those things where, you know, if you're not mechanically inclined, you might end up going back to Harbor Freight and trying to make a return. So we're going to finish up the food plots here. Next week, we'll be using the sprayer once again to put down, we're going to put some plot start down, some liquid lime. Once we get the seed and the fertilizer down, we're going to crush all of this with the lawn roller. And hopefully we won't have to spray more weed killer. But so far, this thing is a winner for $109. Go check it out. I will put a link in the description below. It's not an affiliate link or anything like that. But at least you can do some research, check it out, see what you think. I shared my opinion, and now you know. So thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.